If you want to know how to play Spider Tanks, how to earn money in Spider Tanks for free, and a lot more on how to dominate inside the game, then you clicked on the right video. This is a complete beginner's guide that's gonna bring you from zero to hero in Spider Tanks, and I think even those of you guys who are already familiar and have already played a lot of games in Spider Tanks are going to find this tutorial extremely useful because you're gonna learn even more than you knew before. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm about to show you guys how to create your Gala Games account, but before we do that, I'm gonna give 3 quick reasons why I think Spider Tanks is better than traditional games, and why, if you're someone who's playing a lot of League of Legends, you should stop and start playing Spider Tanks instead. Reason 1 is Spider Tanks gives you real ownership. You truly own your assets, everything that you buy, and you can resell your assets. Imagine if you could resell your League of Legends skins. Wouldn't that be nice? The second reason is that you get real rewards in Spider Tanks. In League of Legends, you don't get rewards unless you're the very top echelon of player. But in Spider Tanks, even an average player gets to earn silk, which is exchangeable for real dollars, because this is a next generation Web3 game that pays you cryptocurrency for your wins. So real rewards for all players, even those who have not invested anything in the game, which is super awesome. And then the third reason that everyone should be playing Spider Tanks, because it's way better than traditional games, is that it is actually fun. It is high octane MOBA gameplay that I have already put, I think, like 30 or 40 hours in, and the game's only been out for like a week. I've really been enjoying this game. If you enjoy tutorial videos like this, remember to drop a big thumbs up, as that will help way more people learn this valuable information. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Make sure you hit subscribe and click that notification bell so that you do not miss any future crypto gaming content. Now let's get into part 1, which is account creation. So in order to set up your Gala Games account, it is very, very easy and free. Just scroll down to the description of this video, and the very first link should be a link to play Spider Tanks. And the first step is gonna be creating our free Gala Games account if you don't yet have one. So we're gonna go over to the top right here, and we're going to click register. You're gonna need to put in your email address, display name, and password. Create account. Oh no, it says too many of you are trying to sign up at once. All right, there we go. We finally got the account creation to work. I hope that's not a big issue for you guys, but if it is, it seems like you just have to try again in a few minutes. Like, don't just keep doing it instantly because it's not gonna work. But if you give it a minute and then you try to sign up again, then it let me. After you have created your account, you're gonna need to go to your email, and they will send you a confirm your Gala account email address, like a lot of account creations do, and it will bring you here. It's totally fine if you're just testing out Spider Tanks and you don't really care about the earning yet. You can just skip and play now, and you can totally still create your wallet later on. For me personally, I know that I want my wallet as well because I want to be able to earn when I'm playing. So I am going to create my wallet now. To create your wallet, you're gonna need to provide a little bit of additional information. You then need to choose a transfer code. Now this can be the same as your password, but I recommend that you do something different than your password to log in. If your login password and your transfer password are the same and someone finds out that password, well, then they can completely empty your account of all of the assets. Next, they are gonna give you a recovery phrase. This is the recovery phrase for your wallet. It is very, very important that you do not share this with anyone else, and that you keep it in a safe and secure place, because with this code, you can log into your wallet even from MetaMask or a third-party wallet application outside of Gala Games entirely, because your wallet is actually owned by you and you're the only one who has full access to it, even though it's being created through the Gala Games account. It's your key and it's your assets. After you have written down your code, and preferably you have it somewhere safe, maybe you even have more than one copy of it because this is a very important code to have, then you check that I have written down my recovery phrase, and I am serious. I have actually written this down on paper and we'll put it somewhere. This is really important because then the next thing it's gonna ask you to do is give them some of the words in your recovery phrase to make sure that you weren't lying. All right, so I have now confirmed my recovery phrase. Dynamite, awesome, OCG2, your setup is complete. And that is how easy setting up your wallet on Gala Games actually is. It is time to actually start the installation of Spider Tank. So you can navigate to that through the Gala website, or once again, guys, if you just go back to the first link in the description, it will open up the Spider Tanks page, and you're just gonna click this same exact button that I am clicking here. Cool, so now we're just going to accept the prompts that we get. We are on the install launcher here. We're gonna accept, agree, and let the install launcher launch. Once the install launcher has successfully downloaded, this will change to install and play. So now we're gonna click install and play. Same exact button again, and it is doing the download. We have to choose the folder that we're going to install Spider Tanks in. You guys can create a desktop shortcut if you would like. Just so you know though, the desktop shortcut will just open up the Gala page and you'll be launching from Gala.games every time that you want to play Spider Tanks, at least for now. All right, cool. So once it is fully installed, the button that you've been clicking to install will now just straight up say play. And the very first time you launch Spider Tanks, it's gonna have to download all of the new content here. Once this finishes, you now have your Gala account created and you have your wallet set up, and then you also have Spider Tanks now downloaded, and it is time to dive into how we earn, how we play, and a lot of other great tips and tricks that's going to make your time playing Spider Tanks way more fun and way more valuable to you. All right, now it is time for part 3, how to play and earn for free. So once you're in the game and you select your username, it is very, very simple to start earning. What you guys need to do is go to the garage. So you'll see in the garage that you do have some free tanks that you can choose between. You also have your special abilities here, and there's 2 different special abilities that you can bring into each match. All of these are really cool and good, and I recommend checking out each and every one of them. Then you also have your props, which props can actually give you additional bonuses in game, like extra energy regeneration or something like that. And then you also have skins, which do also have an effect on your Spider Tanks. The free ones don't, but some of the other skins do. But if you guys are using a free tank and like a free body and free weapon, then you can't actually earn. You just have to check that pilot box. Then you'll see all of a sudden there's a new pilot thing around your tank, and the tank's grayed out, and it will just keep changing on you, because what it's gonna do is it's going to pair you with a tank owner who has their tank out on the market for pilots to use, and it will match you with that tank owner. You'll go into the Spider Tanks match with some random tank that somebody else owns, and you will split your winnings with them 50-50. So I think this is a very, very cool thing. So now as a pilot, you can't do these 2, but you just go battle matchmaking, and it's going to queue you up, and you're going to be able to earn with whatever tank it queues you with. Now, how much can you expect to earn as a free-to-play player? That is a very good question, and lucky for you, I made an entire video dedicated just to answering that question. Make sure you click the video that's popping up in the corner right now, and it will be linked in the description. It will also be linked at the end screen at the very end of this video. Next, we're gonna go over the 4th part of this video, which is buying your own Spider Tank. Now, this is completely an optional step that you guys can skip if you'd like, but I'd like to explain what the advantages are to owning your own Spider Tank. To start this question, let's check out the Spider Tank store. Now, the first thing that you're going to notice is that there are different colors connected to different tanks based on their rarities. So you have a common, which is a gray tank, and then legendary, which is golden. Looks like they're pricing the basic tanks at $100. If we take a look at this legendary tank, we put this in the CoinGecko thing, you can see that instead of $100, this is now $10,000. So it's going to have a lot more earnings power than a common tank is going to give you. the additional earnings power is about on par with the additional cost. So a fully upgraded level 30 legendary tank is going to be earning more per win for a single win than I earned in an entire 4 hours playing, where I got, I think, 37 wins in that how much you can earn per hour test video. So a fully upgraded legendary $10,000 tank is probably going to be bringing in, at least at the current value of silk, which it can fluctuate a ton. Who knows what the value of silk is going to be in the future. But at the current value of silk, you're making like $4 per win with this legendary fully upgraded tortoise tank. When upgrading your spider tanks, there are 5 different possible qualities that your upgrade can be. The lowest quality is decent, then good, then great, then excellent, and finally, perfect is the highest upgrade that you can get. If you have a gray tank and you upgrade it perfectly 30 times, it will be just as powerful as an ancient tank. Another very important thing to keep in mind is that tanks of higher rarity, as in a green or blue or legendary tank, are way more expensive to upgrade and reroll than tanks of lower quality like gray and green. So even though earnings potential is a lot higher on these higher rarity tanks, it takes a lot more silk to actually upgrade them, especially if you want to reroll and ensure you're getting good upgrades. Now, it's important to note that even though I am literally spending the silk that I earned and putting it right back into upgrades to make my tank stronger, that is not only improving the strength of my tank, but it's also improving the earnings potential of my tank. So I played a lot of games as a level like 24 legendary that one of my friends, Timbo Slice, was allowing me to use just out of the kindness of his heart. And I was winning like well over 100 victory points per win. So that means it would take me about 10 wins to get 1,000 victory points, which is what I got from 37 wins as a free to play player. But a fully upgraded legendary, so going from level 24 to level 30, would be earning 1,000 plus victory points per win instead of 100 plus victory points per win. So you're getting insane increases in earnings power as you're upgrading your tank, which is one of the really good reasons to take your winnings and put it right back into your tank so that you can win even more going forward. It's also kind of how they've built the economy to try and create just as much burn as there is inflation of silk token, so that it doesn't just become super inflated, if that makes sense. Now, there is another very massive distinct advantage to owning your own tank, and that is passive income. So if you own your own tank, you can head over to dropship, and in the dropship, you can actually put your available tank body, your available tank weapon, and your tank skin into these 3 slots. Now, on this Smurf account that I created for this video, I obviously don't own any NFTs yet, so I don't have any tanks that I can put here. But if you put a full tank here, then you can deploy it. And once you've deployed an owned tank, then it becomes available for pilots to use. So remember the free-to-play player that comes up to the garage and selects that they want to be a pilot? Well, now your tank is in the queue for them to use. And anytime a free-to-play player uses your tank and wins, you get 50% of their winnings. And how much they win is gonna be completely determined by how rare and valuable and upgraded your tank is. If you want consistent high earnings, well, owning your own tank is gonna be the best way to do that. I really love the passive income side of it as well, because say you're someone that's working during the week and you can only play spider tanks during the weekends, well, all weekdays you could just have your tank rented out, it can continue earning money, then you could use all that to upgrade your tank, and then when you're playing the next weekend, you have an even more powerful tank with more earnings potential. Now, there's one more thing I want to say about tank rarities and earnings, and that is that a gray tank can still get to battle power level 30 just like an ancient tank starts at. So even though a gray tank is a lot cheaper, it can still get just as powerful as an ancient tank if you had 30 perfect upgrades on it. So you can spend just $100 on a gray tank and you can still compete with someone that put in $10,000 or $20,000 on their tank, which kind of fights against the idea that this is completely just like pay to win. a very cheap tank can still compete. Also, I made it to the correlation diamond level in League of Legends in spider tanks, only queuing up as a free-to-play pilot. So just using other people's tanks, I was able to make it to a very high rank. And your rank, your tank rarity, and your battle level of your tank all impact how much you earn per win. All right, we are now at part 5, which is explaining the game modes and winning victory points. Team Deathmatch is obviously super straightforward. You're gonna be fighting 3 versus 3. All these game modes are 3 versus 3, by the way. Every single kill gets you a point. Every single death gives the opponents a point. Just one tip on this game mode, it is very, very important to play with your team. If you get caught out in a 3v1 or a 2v1, then you are almost certainly going to die unless you have incredible dodging and aiming skills. But if you're fighting with your team, oftentimes they can heal you up when you're low. They're someone that you can like hide behind. If you're about to die, like you just get past them and all of a sudden they can block shots for you. Playing with your team in Team Deathmatch is really important. Well, in all these game modes is really important, but that is just my specific tip for this one. Now, the second one, Kill Confirmed, is a lot like Team Deathmatch. However, in this game mode, it is very, very important that you almost never go out on your own. In Team Deathmatch, if you have like the teleportation ability and you have a flamethrower, for example, it's totally fine to trade 1 for 1, right? Because you can just like teleport like into a dangerous spot, kill the guy, then die, and it's fine, it's 1 to 1. But in Kill Confirmed, because you need to pick up the dropped egg of everyone that you kill, it's very important that you kill with your team, because not only do you get that kill, but then you have to confirm that kill. And if you do something aggressive where you trade 1 for 1, but you're around a bunch of enemies, well, they're going to just pick up the egg that their teammate dropped, take your egg, and you're not gonna get any points for it. You're gonna lose points, and it's just very, very important in Kill Confirmed, even more than Team Deathmatch, that you are with your team so that you can secure the kills that you earn. Chicken Chaser is a game mode that I personally really like, but I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't like it much. Pretty much on every single map, you have chickens that spawn throughout the map. And what you have to do, there's 2 buckets. You essentially have to pick up and then drop off the chickens into the bucket. So this is a game mode that kills really don't matter in at all, besides the fact that there's a short death timer. So if you die, then you're off of the map for a little bit, which can be an advantage to the opposing team or an advantage to you if you grab the kill. But what's more important than kills, and I can't stress this enough because some people who are playing Chicken Chaser seem to not get this through their head, is delivering chickens. Delivering chickens is how you win. And if you don't deliver more chickens than your opponent, you're not gonna get any victory points, you're not gonna win any silk, and you could have 30 kills and 0 deaths and it is still a waste of your time. So make sure you're delivering chickens. It's very important to remember what your objective is and focus on that objective for that game mode. Now, talking about focusing on the objective, we have the 4th game mode, which is Poultry Pusher. Poultry Pusher is a kind of escort game mode where you have this big chicken and you have to escort it to the location that you're trying to get to. And if you have only 1 teammate on the chicken, it will move slow, but if you have 2 teammates on the chicken, it will move quicker. Now, a 3rd teammate on the chicken, it's important to note, does not help you at all. So essentially the strategy for this game mode is keep 2 people on your chicken, pushing it forward, and they are gonna have to defend whoever's attacking you, and then you take one of your teammates to push the opponent's chicken. And that teammate needs to have either some great AoE skills or the ability to like teleport on the enemy chicken and like shotgun or flame down everyone who's standing on the chicken, because essentially this person's job is just to go and try to get the enemy's 2 players off of their chicken, while the 2 people pushing your chicken are trying to stay on the chicken while killing the person that's trying to kill them. This is a very, very important game mode, once again, to play the objective on. on. And then finally, King of the Hill. Oh, and there's another game mode that I actually forgot, which is like hold the flag, capture the flag, where you're just trying to hold the flag as much as possible. King of the Hill and the flag holding one are very, very similar game modes. The only difference is that with the capture the flag one, you can move around the map and you kind of just try to keep whoever has the flag alive. Whereas King of the Hill, it stays in the center and you're just trying to hold that one secure point. Now, some strategy for this, it's a lot stronger, it's a lot easier to be the defending team and to shoot at people that are charging you than it is to be the team that's charging and trying to take ground from your opponent. This is also true for the King of the Hill match. It's a lot harder to take the hill than it is to hold the hill. Because once you have the hill, well, then you can just stand back, shoot at everyone who's trying to hop onto the control point. But if you don't have the hill, well, you can't just stand back and shoot at people who are trying to get on the control point. You have to actually stand on the control point yourself, which is a prime location for people to do airstrikes and drop grenades and all of that. The very early moments in these games are really important. Dodging those first couple shots, hitting your first couple shots, and just giving yourself the health advantage right at the beginning can help you secure the early point and then become a defender as quick as possible instead of having to be the aggressor. 6 really fun game modes in Spider Tanks that I really enjoy. Now let's quickly talk about part 6, which is earning victory points and earning silk. How exactly does it work? So I've already said you only win victory points if you win the game. That's very important. Losers don't get anything. And then another really important thing that I think I mentioned earlier is that the amount of victory points that you win is based on 3 different things: tank rarity, tank battle rating, and your personal rating. So that is just like your own skill level that you're at. All 3 of these are going to impact the amount of victory points that you earn. A third thing that's gonna impact that I didn't mention before is that whether you're an owner or a renter is going to impact the number of victory points that you earn. Because remember, if you're an owner, then you get all the victory points. If you're a renter who's a pilot, then you're only getting 50% of the victory points and the tank owner is getting that other half. It's also important to note that in every single match, the map owner and the node owner that's hosting the game are also getting a percentage of the victory points from that match. So this is gonna be something new for a lot of you guys who might be new to this ecosystem, but on the Gala Games store page, same place that we were just at, you can actually buy maps straight up and be an owner of a Spider Tanks map, and you can buy Spider Tanks nodes, both of which farm silk daily for hosting matches. I think this is really cool because it just makes the game more decentralized. Now it's important to explain how the silk payouts work. So there is a daily pool of silk, and how much silk is in that pool is based on a lot of different factors. For example, the amount of silk that was burned the day before. So if a lot of people are like spending the silk that they've been earning on tank upgrades and other things, well, if there's a lot of silk burned the day before, then the next day's silk pool will be larger. But if everyone is just hoarding their silk or selling their silk on the market and no one's actually burning it, well, that's going to reduce the amount of silk in the next day's pool. So essentially, you can think about it like a balance beam where if there's a lot of deflation, so a lot of burning of currency, well, then the teeter-totter is a lot higher and your pool's a lot bigger. But if no one is burning, if there's no deflation, well, then the payout gets a lot smaller. So they do this because they want to try to keep it balanced and even. You want a similar amount of deflation every day as you have inflation every day, which keeps the total supply pretty much flat, which is how you can maintain value for silk long term, is you don't have it inflating a ton like SLP was in Axie Infinity. Now, quickly, some disclosures. On-Chain Gaming, this channel, is sponsored by viewers like you and Gala Games. So Gala Games is a sponsor of On-Chain Gaming. We absolutely love all of the games that they're making, but just keep that in mind. All of the videos that we make about Gala are technically sponsored videos, even though we were making videos about Gala before we were sponsored, and we're making the same videos about Gala now. I just have to disclose that. And I want to note that Gala Games as a company has absolutely no opinion on the future value of silk. They're not saying it's gonna moon, they're not saying it's gonna gonna crash. They're just saying this is a utility token for our video game, and the value that it has, guys, is completely determined on how much people want to pay for it, which is going to be determined based off of supply and demand. Silk does have a ton of utility inside spider tanks. I wish I had way more silk because I want to spend it on more upgrades, more bolts, and stuff like that. It's important to remember that crypto is a very volatile asset class, and who knows what silk is going to be worth in the future. It could be worth a lot more, it could be worth a lot less. I'm just explaining to you guys how to play and start earning in this game. Now, if you are curious, is Spider Tank's economy sustainable? Well, then you guys have to click this video. This is a great video to watch next. We look and see if it's a pyramid scheme or if it's something that can actually last long term without collapsing like every single play and earn game before it. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to drop a big thumbs up, hit subscribe if you're not already, and until next time, everyone, have fun playing Spider Tanks.